Yo, hello, hi. Thank you for joining me for the very first episode of a new series that I'm doing called Grade My Logo. And in this series, I'm going to be taking logos that you have submitted at grademylogo.com, and I'm going to review them based on the 3 S's. S number 1, does the logo work in single color? S number 2, does it scale? So if you're looking at it, maybe you print it out at the size of a nickel or throw it up on a huge billboard, is the logo still legible? Does it make sense? Do you recognize it? S number 3, and this is one that I see people miss more often than anything else. Is there a unique story? Does it tell the story of your church or your organization? And what I mean by that is, does the shapes and the tone and the overall feel of the logo embody who you are and where you're heading in such a way that you couldn't copy and paste a lot of those same decisions on the church down the road? My goal for each of these videos is to put some tools in your tool belt, things to keep an eye on next time you're going through a rebrand, whether your team is doing it in-house or you've hired an outside group to help you with it. But things to look out for just to make this a better process and make sure that you walk away with something strong. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and help more people find this wonderful information. A quick disclaimer, normally if I was doing a logo project for somebody, I would be heavily taking into account the input of the team, the culture of the organization or the church, and thinking about these things, like those would play a massive role in deciding. So that's almost like a fourth thing to grade these against. But for these videos, I don't have that context. So I'm basically going to be filling in the gaps and just making some guesswork based on what I think kind of looks like. But that being said, without any further ado, fanfare, or what have you, let's go ahead and jump into the first one. So we've got a mountain here, Scotts Hills, totally makes sense. We've got a few colors going on and a little band around it. First thing we're going to do is measure this against the 3 S's. Does this work in single color? Yes, it would. If we changed all these to black, you would still recognize it as the same logo. It doesn't fall down in that way. 2, does it scale? So if we zoom way out, and this is one of my problems here, is that this guy, these little mountain ridges being so close together, they're going to kind of get melded together at smaller sizes. So one edit that I might make is to actually just scoot these guys a little bit further apart, or to maybe just do 3 of them so you get a little bit more room. Another way that I want to think about scaling is not just the physical size or like footprint of the logo, but what do we do if it's an Instagram profile, or what do you do if you need to put it in wide format on a website or a billboard? I think that's a no-brainer here. I mean, you've got this icon that works well for Instagram, things like that, and then you've got this wide format here. I could see Scotts Hill getting stacked underneath if you needed to have a taller version for whatever reason, but all in all, I think we're okay there too. And then the third one, does it tell a story? Yes, I mean, to a degree. So we've got a hill or like a mountain shape, but I think we could improve here a little bit, and I've got an idea for that. But all in all, I would give this a B-, C+, somewhere in there. I think that it checks off a lot of the big boxes, but that story component certainly could be improved on. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid. So with that in mind, I'm going to jump in and just do a few quick things that I think could make some sense. So first thing, I do like that we've got a recognizable shape here. And, if, again, I don't have context around what their goals are, what they're trying to do, but if they came to me and, we had kind of talked through stuff in a project relationship, I would say, hey, let's try and hang on to some of the things you've got. So we've got, I'm going to go with Avenir, I don't know. Why is my all caps on? Boom. It's a little bit thicker than what they've got. We don't have these fun little rounded curly guys, but I think it's close. I might thicken it up some just to help out with some readability in some situations. Plus, I'm always gonna lean, and this is where you get into that subjective stuff. Like, I'm always gonna lean a little bit heavier. I'm always gonna lean a little bit down that road, but that's where we get a little subjective. Scotts Hill, we're gonna go in the same family. We'll go Roman for Baptist Church. And bada bada boom. So they've got it a little bit shorter as the byline. They've got it in italics. We'll play with that some potentially. I'm just going to keep it about the same size. So if we need to just use the word mark here, we can use these kind of as one unit. Use Scotts Hill by itself. Use Scotts Hill Baptist Church, and then use it with and without the icon. But we'll go ahead and move him over to the side for now. And let's look at this icon here. So we've got our mountain, and one way that we could make this, again, looking at S number 3, where we're trying to kind of expand on the story for the church, is maybe to tie an S into the mountain. So that way, again, kind of one of the litmus tests for, you know, if you're telling the story well, is could a church down the street copy and paste that same icon onto whatever they're doing? You know, they've got some stuff going on here with the mountain that, you know, might not make sense for some folks, but could we expand even further there? So what I'm going to do is real quickly, and this is, you know, not going to be perfectly measured out here, but it'll be a start. I wonder, can we make sort of an S shape out of this mountain? Maybe we could kick it up here. I don't know if that's going to work necessarily. Let's start simple and add details if we need to. So again, trying to also, you know, we mentioned wanting the scalability to maybe be a little bit better for this, given the distance for some of these lines here. So we'll try and kind of tackle that one too while we're in here. Alright, so we've kind of got roughly the same shape, but we've got an abstract S forming the mountain now. So we got a little bit of something to work with, a little bit of guts, a little bit of soul, a little bit of rock and roll. Bada boom, we'll copy that over here. I am a big proponent of make a bajillion copies while you're working on something inside of Illustrator, because they're free, you don't have to pay for them. And if you make a change or an edit that you don't like, you can go back to an older version. Real easy. So I'm expanding this shape, and one of the things I want to do, oopsie, I'm going to drag this puppy down. Got my smart guides turned on. I'm going to go ahead and round just all of my shapes. Ooh, that's nice. I like that a lot more. But before I do that, I want to, there's always a bunch of different ways to handle these kind of adjustments, but I've always been, from day one, a big fan of just using like shapes to knock my stuff out. So I'm going to subtract this guy from here. Again, if I wasn't kind of blazing through this process, I would really measure and make sure these spaces are the same here and down here. Same thing with some of these things, but just for the sake of the exercise, I'm going to go ahead and round all these, which is one of my favorite new features inside of Illustrator. I feel like that didn't get rounded very much, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, we're just going for the spirit of the thing here. So we've got our icon, and it's one of the notes that was added inside of the deal is, hey, can we use it with and without the ring? Yeah, absolutely. Like I would probably, we'll go ahead and look at what I would do regarding that question. Again, this is not super precise right here. I'm not real happy about the spacing on some of that, but you get the gist of it. There is an abstract S. It's kind of an interesting shape that we can explain to folks if they ask, hey, what's up with the weird mountain? We've got something there. Might want to kick this dude up till he's the same height as Scotts Hill. So we'll save him. We'll also keep him with the ring. or the circle, if you will. Certainly don't hate that. I'm trying to get this roughly the same like width and size as our mountain lines here. I think I'm a little thick right now, but we'll see. But yeah, something in this world here could totally make sense. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and kick these dudes on into here. Again, if I was really sweating the details here, I'd be like micro measuring all the distances, but that feels like a boring video to watch me jump in and like really measure stuff, because I get bored doing that, much less watching somebody else do that stuff. I'm going to get a little bit close though, just so you get a sense of that. So this is a pretty bold icon here, and again, passing our sniff test, like it'll definitely work at a much, like you can even see here, like this feels like one triangle, whereas this is some distinct shapes, right? So it's a little bit more recognizable. You know, you could even do a version of this where the text wraps around the badge here. So we've got that badge that works with and without the circle, and then we've got this bad boy up next to it, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. But yeah, that's kind of what I would recommend. Not really looking at colors right now. I think these colors are fine. This aqua's pretty cool, and you could probably, I might drop in another accent color, not in the logo, but maybe for like call to actions on the website and stuff like that. And that'll do it for today, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think the new logo is better, worse, I don't know. Would love to hear from you. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button so other folks can jump in on the fun. And last but not least, if you want me to grade your logo, just submit it on the short form at grademylogo.com. Adios.